All right, today we are joined a second time from Atlanta rapper Corey Diligent, also a friend of the show. Corey, of course, has a childhood friendship with Kris Kross, childhood friendship with Young Dro. He's affiliated with the Goodie Mob. Not only that, he's in the group 8 a.m. 2020 with Plex Long. He's also a member of Black Box Entertainment. I mean, Corey, just shout out your resume. I'm exhausted. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much for having me back again, off the radar, man. I really support your platform. I really enjoyed, all the interviews. I saw Keith Murray, Illegal, and it's just really dope, man, how you bring back the 90s acts and giving them a platform, getting them reintroduced, to a new audience.
Absolutely. I appreciate the support as well. Thank you so
No
much. Very
doubt,
appreciated.
no doubt.
Excellent. So how have you been? What have you been up to?
Man, just working, man. I'm working on my new album. It's actually my 5th release. Because I have a Live from Campbellton Road, which was my first release, SWAT Atlanta, which is my 2nd release, and then my 3rd one was Legacy, and then the 8 a.m. just like you said, the 8 a.m. album. So this one gonna be Corey Diligent, man. With the name change, I just figured it just fit for the title of this project.
Okay. Why did you change your name?
You know what it was? It was a couple of things. I did an interview on the Soundproof Hunger Room. Shout out to them. You can subscribe to them on YouTube, Soundproof Hunger Room. But they, when they did the introduction, and if you type it into YouTube along with my name, you'll see it. But in the introduction, it said Corey Diligent, and it said just Diligent. And I didn't even ask, them to do that. It was just, off the cuff. So, that was like a sign, I guess, if you would. But then the deal breaker was with the Divine Sons. I know we're going to talk about the Sons. Everybody's name is like either 2 or 3 names. Anon the Griot, Plex Long, the Hunch Punch Champ, Dan Johns. You know what I'm saying? And I was just diligent. I was like, I want to change it, kind of reinvent myself for 2021. So I just added my government onto the front of Diligence. So that's basically how it happened, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what would you say is different from the album that's about to drop versus previous albums? Are you something similar? Do you have a signature sound? Like, for example, AC/DC. As soon as you hear that guitar rip opening, you know exactly who it is. Do you try to sound the same, or are you more like Outkast where they always switch it up completely from album to album?
The one thing about this album that I really like, that I work with some great producers, like you take the 8 a.m. album, my man Corduroy Billy did that whole album. Every beat you heard on the 8 a.m. project, he did. Well, with Corey Diligent, with his upcoming album, I'm gonna have a various, different sounds from different producers. I have, like I said, Corduroy Billy, he's on it. My man Encore from South Carolina. My man Dr. G out in the UK, we even have him. He blessed us with a track. And it's just, man, my man Charlie P. And it's just man, it's gonna be dope, man. Just different sounds. My man Cage, and it's gonna be something special. I really worked hard on it, really did.
Excellent. So what goes into writing a song? What's the motivation?
It's different things. Current events, definitely. Just like we just, had the inauguration, like a new president, new vice president. So definitely current events. Another thing is everyday activity. What you go through every day. I just try to write from a perspective of, like, when a person hears me rap or hear me, on the radio, or whenever they hear me, I want them to be able to feel like kind of be in my shoes, you know what I'm saying? If you would, I kind of try to paint a picture, so it really depends on the concept of the song. Like, if it's a serious song, like I want to talk about my late parents, then, I write according to that. But if it's like a up-tempo party song, then, the writing process changes. So it really depends, really. It's a conceptual.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so now let's talk about Plex Long. Where did he come from? He's a dope rapper.
Man, let me tell you, man, I guess this is going to be my first story right here, Nick. The way I met Plex Long. Okay, in the last interview, I said I used to work for Mayor Bill Campbell. He was a good friend of my late father's. Well, it's the same thing with Plex. His father is a good friend of Bill Campbell as well. and his dad used to work in Bill Campbell's administration when he was the mayor of Atlanta. Well, I will always see Plex, going back and forth to the office, but we didn't know each other. We just see each other in passing. I knew he was, Larry Wallace's son, but I didn't have a formal introduction. Well, this is what happened. So he ended up attending Morehouse like the rest of the sons did. And he needed an accounting book. We got brand new accounting books. They were like $100. They were real expensive. So Plex hit me. He said, man, you still got your accounting book, from when you took accounting? And I was like, yeah, I still got it. And, he's like, man, I'll get it to you on a discount. I'll hook you up, So when I go to the room, he's playing a tape on the boom box in his face. I know we, Face is part of Black Box. And I said, man, who is that rapping? And he's like, that's my man Face. And I was like, man, he dope, And we started freestyling, and you're going to hear it in Timeline, my single. I say something about we made cats come out their dorm room. So when we started freestyling, everybody on the floor, Nick, came out their dorm room, came down to our room and stood in the hallway. So that was awesome. That was the, the deal breaker. That was right there. When me and Plex did that freestyle, Nick, I tell you, I took him to the studio with me, and, I introduced him to the rest of the sons, and the rest was really history, man. And, man, Plex is a phenomenal artist, man. And he's been rocking out ever since, man. 20 plus years.
Wow. Yeah, shout out to Plex Long. He's also a Washington football fan.
Yes, he is. Yeah, him, his dad. Yeah, they diehard Washington fans. Yeah, he's from Virginia, so DMV. So, yeah, definitely.
Really cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So tell me about Divine Sons.
Man, Divine Sons. We just dropped our album. It's called The Beautiful, and you can get on all platforms. And, man, we got some dope visuals out to go along with the album. We have Absolutely No One, and you could, YouTube that Absolutely No One by Divine Sons, and that's SUNS, Divine Sons with a U. And we have the song, the video is called Seeds that we just recently dropped. And, we just have, man, wow, we just busy, man. We just recently dropped, I was talking about Billy earlier, with Corduroy Billy, and Dan Johns just recently dropped Business is Booming on all platforms, and I'm featured on there, Plex, Anon, everyone in Divine Sons, and you can get that on all platforms as well. So we just working, and my project will be the next to drop, the Corey Diligent album. So the Sons working, man, definitely.
Do you have a release date?
Not yet. We're in the final stages of it right now. You know how the whole mixing mastering process goes. So that's what we're waiting on right now, so whenever, the engineer is done, shout out to my man Cage again, but whenever he's done, we're going to, put it out there, so we just waiting on, the final steps, man. I'm really excited about it.
Nice. So what is the difference between Corey Diligent, the guy that's in a group, and Corey Diligent, the solo artist?
In the group, I think with me I'm kind of competitive, you know what I'm saying? Having a battle rap background, just that whole competition thing. So when I'm doing a posse track with the Sons, I kind of want to have the best verse on every song, and it's not to belittle my fellow sons and or my brothers. It's not to degrade them or nothing like that, but they really test my pen because all of them are just so talented in different ways, and so when I'm with the Sun, they just really push my pen to want to write the best verse and represent, for the Sons to the fullest. Now as a solo artist, it's just me, it's a little bit more personal. I could bring up personal matters. I was alluding to my parents earlier, talking about being a father, talking about being a husband. So I think it's a little more interpersonal when you do solo stuff versus like when you do a group or a posse cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you talked about competition, like when you're in the group and all that. Has it ever got heated where somebody said something where you took a little umbrage towards it, or the other way around?
No, not with the Sons necessarily. I think the closest thing to a situation like that back in college, and as you know, I graduated from Morehouse College, and that's where the Sons met again, Morehouse. So Dan Johns and I had a battle, and We had a battle out at the studio, and man, he said a line, I'm telling you, Nick, that sticks with me to this day. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, but I just remember, the punchline. So basically he said, why you standing there all pissed off? After I body you, I'll battle your boys Crisscross. It was like,
oh no.
I never forgot that line, man. And that's kind of like the closest thing, like, Dan Johns and I battle. And I just, after that day, man, I said, man, I can't let nobody get me like that. I got to be on my P's and Q's. So he, Dan Johns was a very influential person and had a big role in me, doing the battle rap thing. Because he and I would freestyle after class. He had a little computer upstairs with little instrumentals, different industry beats. And, man, we would freestyle for hours. So that's about the closest, that's come to something like, like competition.
Really cool.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, and you brought up Crisscross, we actually had the first question. It was about 2.5 seconds into the broadcast. You guessed it. We had a Chris Smith question. That's got to be some type of record.
Shout out to the DAWDY.
Absolutely. So Big Mikey asks, do you think if the Kids of the 90s tour comes to fruition, would Chris Smith ever join it? Second part of the question is, why do you think he's not in more interviews? And also, why is he not on a platform like Cameo? Obviously, you're not in the group. You're friends with him. You're going to answer the best of your ability. So
right. Will Chris do it? It just has to make sense. You know what I'm saying? The thing about, and I always tell people this, the Crisscross legacy is so fragile and so delicate, with the success that they had at such a young age. And I'm even thinking now, Nick, I don't think it was another group a kids group or a kids act who sold like him. I don't think Bow Wow surpassed, totally crossed out. I don't think
he did not.
He did.
Yeah, he wasn't. So definitely didn't pass jump. No.
Right. So I guess with that kind of success, man, it's just, man, it's almost like Andre 3000. I think I always compare Chris to Andre 3000. He's kind of low key, behind the scenes, still doing this thing, but just not in front of the camera like Bit Boy is. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And Chris has his own YouTube page, One Life Entertainment. He still has his website going, Urban Muse. So he's still doing things, like his painting, and he's still doing music, still releasing, different visuals. So he's still doing his thing. And again, if it makes sense, man, I'm telling you, Chris will do it, man. He'll do it. It just has to be right. I can hear him saying now, it just got to be the right time for it. I can just hear him saying that in my head, just talking, answering the question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Could you see him on something like Cameo?
Hey, you never know, man. It would be kind of dope, the classic styles and everything. What was the guy's name who just passed in Woodenia? Ecstasy, I think his name was.
Ecstasy, yeah, he just passed 2 or 3 weeks ago.
His daughter, what's ironic, his daughter actually works with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. And when I saw her post and she was like, oh, that was her daddy. Like, wow, but rest in peace, Essie, from Woodenia. Yeah.
Absolutely. So sad.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, when we talk about Chris Smith, I mean, first things first. So I do know for a fact he was invited to the Kids of the 90s tour. Taj Mahal was trying to reach out to him. What happened? If there was communication, if he declined, I don't know, but he definitely was invited. But when we talk Chris Smith, I mean, first things first, respect his privacy. But at the same time, like you said, keep showing love. Check him out on Instagram. Check out his YouTube. He's got a clothing line. Keep showing him love, and maybe at some point in time, we'll take more interviews. Maybe he'll have a podcast. You never know. Just keep showing love, being positive, and who knows what'll happen.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself, Nick. Man, you own it, man. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Cool. So when we go to the beginning, Crisscross obviously was huge with Totally Crossed Out. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They left school for homeschooling, but they came back in around 8th grade. Is that right? How was that transition?
Okay, so what it was is that, when Jump came out, we were in 6th grade. We were 12 years old at Bunch Middle School. When Jump was out, the video was first out, they were still coming to school. Chris Kelly ended up transferring to Camp Creek Middle School. He left Bunch and transferred to Camp Creek Middle School in the middle of our 6th grade year. And when they did the In Living Color performance, man, that's when they just took off. So like I said, they were their 6th grade year. well, I can only speak for Smith because again, Chris Kelly transferred. So and
Okay.
Chris was there none the 7th grade year. He didn't even come 7th grade year. And then 8th grade year, he came back to graduate with us in 93. So that, I guess during that time, that's when they were like really, really busy, you know, touring with Michael Jackson, the Sprite commercial, doing A Different World, everything that they did, Soul Train. I mean, I know you know the resume, Nick, but yeah. So that's how that happened.
Nice. Did he ever pull the, you know, if somebody gave him any type of lip or an issue in gym class, was he like, hey, I was just on tour with Michael Jackson, get off me here?
Okay, watch this. Chris and I took PE together. And Chris, man, if Chris see this, Chris, I love you, bro. Chris never dressed out. He would not dress out, man. Because, you know, we had a PE uniform. It was like some track like shorts. You know, they kind of short. You know how track stars be running. So the shorts were real short. It was some royal blue shorts and the gold bunch shirt. You know, those are colors, blue and gold. And man, I'm talking about Chris would not dress out. Like, we sat alphabetically. So, like, my last name is Prewitt. So I was a P, he was an S. So Prewitt Smith. So he sat in the row next to me to my left, but like, I think 1 or 2 people back from. So I don't have to turn my back to see him. Man, Chris be back there, pants on backwards, leaning back. Patrick Ewing
in gym class.
And he and you know, I was messing with when my dad was in hospice. Rest in peace to my dad. But when he was in hospice, you know, Chris came to the hospital to see my dad. And you know, I asked him because the name our teacher, we had 2 teachers. We had Coach Cox and Coach Smith. No relation to Chris Smith, but Coach Smith. Well, when we took Coach Cox, he was a new PE teacher. And I asked Chris, I said, hey man, what Coach Cox give you in class? I always wanted to ask you that, man, because you never dressed out, man. He talking about, man, he gave me a C or a D or something. I think he said a C or a D. But in the back of my mind, I think Chris got an A, man. I think Coach Cox passed him on the low. I always kind of mess with him with that. But man, love Chris to death. But now he never dressed out. He wasn't wearing them shorts.
No white t-shirt, no black shorts then?
Yeah. No blue no blue shorts, no gold shirt for Chris. Nah. But Kelly dressed out though. In our 6th grade year, Kelly dressed out though. Now, you know, I don't know what he kind of sad the shorts, but Kelly dressed out. But Smith wouldn't dress out, man. Yeah.
Nice. Did you ever, when they were so big, did you ever like travel with them, go on a trip or go to the mall with them? Or?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to give you the date on this one, Nick. Okay.
You got the date. Wow.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why I remember the date. It was June 1st, 1996. The reason I know, because that's the day I took the SAT. You know, that's why I remember. So I was a junior in high school. So I just finished taking the SAT. So I go over to Chris' house, you know what I'm saying, go down in the studio, and he's like, hey, man, how's the SAT? And I'm telling him about how the test is, you know, everything. And so he was like, hey, man, you want to go to the mall? I'm like, what? Chris want to go somewhere? Like, you so homebound, like, it caught me off guard, you know? Yeah, he was like, yeah, man, let's roll to the mall real quick. And so, as you know, they were discovered in Greenbrier Mall, you know, in Southwest Atlanta. Well, at first, Chris was gonna say, let's just shoot up the Greenbrier, you know, it's not too far from here, you know. And I said, Chris, I don't know, because you got to think this 96, Nick. So this Tonight's Tonight, Living Down for Hip Hop, this when Young Rich and Dangerous was, you know, that run, you know.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, well, let's go out to Shannon Mall. Shannon Mall is in Union City, Georgia. It's about 20 minutes away, you know, from Atlanta, from the city. You know, so I was like, let's just go to Shannon Mall. You know, it's a little further out. The crowd won't be as big. You know, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, I was looking at it from a safety aspect, you know. So he's like, okay. So we hop in the Range Rover, you know, the county on chrome. He talks about Tonight's Tonight, same.
Definitely.
So we go out to the mall. So we walk in. So we walk in the mall, walk through the food pavilion. You know, that kind of surprised. Like, you walk through the food pavilion, you want to walk through the side door. So, okay, walk through the food pavilion. So we walk in, and you could hear little, hey, Chris, that's a dude for Crisscross. Hey, that's Crisscross. Like I could hear it walking through, but, you know, we just kept walking. I didn't stop or nothing, you know. So as we were walking, there were a set of twins. He gave them an autograph, everything. And, you know what I'm saying, we went in and, you know, chilled in the mall. ate, did everything, and we leave, right? So when we get back in the Rover, I'm like, hey, Kris, let's go by, the house. My mama, I want to surprise her because my mama ain't seen Kris since they performed at the Fox Theater in '92, so, but she hadn't seen Kris, you know what I'm saying? So we go, we ride out down back to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Go to my house or whatnot. So we go in and Kris stayed in the kitchen. I say, stay right here. And then when my mama bent in the corner, boom, you right there. So I'm like, mama, huh? I said, hey, somebody out here to see you. Who is it? I said, I don't know who. They here to see you. So she come downstairs and she bend the corner and Kris right there. She like, Kris. She saw Kris, man. She couldn't believe it. She could not believe it. So they, they go down in the basement and she was just saying how much she loved the Soul Train performance, which is on YouTube when they did Tonight's Tonight and Live or Die for Hip Hop, And so here's a funny part of the story. There's a knock at the door or the doorbell rang or whatever. So I go to the door. Yeah, it's a couple, middle-aged couple, maybe in their 50s. And so I was like, yes, can I help you? They was like, hey, yeah, well, we followed you all the way from Shannon Mall. We just want to get a picture with Kris. I'm dead serious. They followed us from Shannon Mall all the way to my house. So that's what I'm talking about the security and the protective side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the magnitude that fans will go to just to meet, a celebrity, someone they support. So, so I was like, wow, they follow us all from the mall. So I said, could you wait right here 1 sec? So I closed the door, go tell my mom and Kris what happened. There's a couple at the door. They follow us from the mall. So Kris, Kris like, for real? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, man, what you want me to tell him? He like, okay, I'll go up there, but can y'all go up there with me? And so, Kris went up there, met with him, took a picture, a couple of pictures. And my mom, just stood right there, made sure everything was good, that, and I stood right there too. And it was just crazy, man. Someone would follow us, from the mall all the way to my house just to get a picture with Kris. So yeah, man, that really happened.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yes, that really happened.
Jumping back into another question, lovely lady Lily wants to know whatever happened to Kris Kross and Snoop Dogg 321. Great question. Do you have much insight on that?
Wow. Yeah, I remember that song. I don't know what happened. I don't know why there was never an official release for that. That's a good question. That would be something I would have to ask Kris or his brother or something. Or maybe DJ Navs may know why. Because I know he has the song, and I think a Crisscross fan, uploaded on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. I think I do.
It's on YouTube, yeah.
And that was my first time hearing it, Nick. I had never heard it whatever year they did that, was it 93, 94, whenever they did it. But I don't know. That's a very good question. I wish I had an answer for that.
Okay, so I'm just a guy. What do I know? But I'm going to give my educated guess for what it's worth.
I might, go ahead.
All right, so the song was supposed to be on Da Bomb.
Okay.
Kris Kross was on board. Snoop was on board. JD, of course, was on board. Somebody from Death Row kind of put the kibosh on it. If I had to guess, it was Suge Knight. I have no evidence of this. This is just an educated guess. I don't know what goes into that. But because they had it recorded, and I think it was like the last minute they took it off the album. So something along those lines. But I could be wrong. So
wow, I didn't. Wow, hey, that might be something to that. Yeah, I had no idea. Wow, I didn't know it was supposed to be on the bomb. But what's funny? When I listen to it, it puts me in the mind state of I'm real.
Exactly. And I'm real. I kind of took the place.
Yeah, I think ain't some of the lyrics the same or.
So I'm real was done afterwards. Again, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. But so that was going to be on there. They had to scrap it, and then I'm real kind of took place of it, and of course it sampled Snoop Dogg. Right.
Okay. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, that made more sense. Yeah.
So please, if anybody has better answers or insight, please correct me. That's nothing wrong with that, but that's my educated guess on it. But
definitely.
For sure. So when we talk about, actually, are you still in touch with Chris Smith? Lily wants to know that as well.
What's funny? I spoke with his brother yesterday. I just, I was thinking about something that happened when I was a kid, and I told him the story, something he didn't know about. And I actually contacted him yesterday, and I spoke with him, and I asked about Kris, and he said he's doing good now. So I'm telling him to holler at me because it's been a minute since I actually talked to him. It's been a minute, but I still stay in contact with his family and everything. I guess he's so busy with the website and with his clothing line and painting, and I'm pretty sure he's still creating new music. And you know, his short film, what's it called, Gas Clutch?
Gas Clutch?
Think it is. Yeah, Gas Clutch. And so, you know, I still stay in contact with him. I'm more in contact with Kelly's family a little bit more often. I always check in with Donna, his mom, and his uncle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure she's good, you know, because that was her only child, you know, so.
Absolutely. How's she doing? How's Donna
She's
doing?
good. Donna's good. I was talking with her, I think it was a couple of weeks ago when my video dropped, and I sent it to her, you know, and anytime I do an interview like this interview when it uploads, you know, I'm definitely send it to her and just keep the Crisscross legacy going.
Definitely. Shout out to Donna for sure.
Yeah, she's good. Shout out to Donna Pratt.
Definitely. So do you have much insight? So Chris Kelly had his record label, Seco Records.
Yeah.
He signed an artist that was Chris Terry's little brother. Do you have much insight on him? What's he up to?
Yeah, Tony Montana, man. That's my little bro. As far as I know, I think Tony's still rapping. You know, I haven't had much contact with him lately, but you know, he as far as I know, he was still rapping last time I spoke with him. So yeah, shout out to Chris Terry, little brother, and definitely rest in peace to Chris Terry.
For sure.
Yeah, Tony Montana.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So talking Chris Kelly, I didn't know him very well, but I knew him a little bit through social media in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to probably 2006, 2007. I was on MySpace, and there was this one-hit wonder site. And I remember
I seen that.
Okay, yeah. So there were groups like, there was Lisa Loeb, there was New Radicals, Spin Doctors. I'm not saying they're one-hit wonders, House of Pain. I'm just going by whatever.
Right. Shout out to House of Pain, Everlast.
Absolutely. Great group, great material.
Yeah,
so,
I got the album.
For sure. Then I saw Crisscross on there. So I decided to be their attorney. I'm like, whoa, you got to do your research. What are you talking about? First off, the follow-up to Jump, Warm It Up was huge. All Right was huge. And I was in a rural area. Tonight's the Night, we could not get enough of Young, Rich, and Dangerous. So I put this comment on there. And then the next morning I log on to MySpace. Be real. Be real from Cypress Hill. Comments. He says, that's what's up, Nick. More Crisscross fans need to come to bat like you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So I go to the page
and like, label. They was on Rough Columbia together.
So I'm not sure if this is real or not. I go to the site. He's got millions of followers or whatever, friends, whatever it was called on MySpace at the time. I, of course, send him a message. Of course, he snubs me. Why would he respond to me? But it was cool that he responded. And then the next morning, Chris Kelly sends me a friend request. Again, I think someone's messing with me. I think it's fake. So I send him a message like, yo, is this really Chris Kelly? This is so cool, man. So he's going back and forth. Like, he sends me a little voice message type of thing, a little voiceover message.
Oh, says, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's up? It's the MAC, Nick from Crisscross. Like, you got to be kidding me. So we
that was Chris Kelly.
Yeah,
that was
exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So he would ask me how I was doing. If I had something I had some issues going on with work at the time, where again, we're talking 2006, 2007. He'd give me words of encouragement. And then eventually he said, yo, Nick, if you're ever in the A, here's my number. Hit me up. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah. And he's like, Nick, let me tell you something. Nick, I will do anything for a real ass fan, and you're a real ass fan. And I've never forgot that. I mean, does that sound like something you would say or do? Yeah.
That was Chris Kelly, man. I always tell people he was in the industry, but he wasn't the industry dude. He was so down to earth and he just like a dude you're kicking on the corner with, man. You know what I'm saying? And he just really, he loved the Crisscross legacy. I mean, the man wore his pants backwards to the day he transitioned, ever since he was 11 years old. And he was just so proud of what him and Chris accomplished, and you know, along with me as well. And man, I really miss him, man. You know, he a phenomenal MC, very talented. You know what I'm saying? And he just really, he's a legend, man. I mean, both of them are, but you know, they should really give, you know, Crisscross just that legendary status, because I don't think it'll be another kid group or a kid act that do what they did. You know, they had a whole nation turn their pants backwards. I mean, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
Right? That's like Michael Jackson status, Madonna, Beyonce. Like, You know, I just wish they would have just, you know, I just wish they would have got a couple of more albums out. And I think if that would have happened, I think they would have been looked at like how we look at Outkast. You know, Outkast got 7, 8 albums. You know, I just wish they would have, you know, done another couple of albums.
Definitely. I do wish their catalog was a little bit bigger, like you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. And even though they still had the movies, TV shows, and everything on their resume, this music-wise, I just wish, you know, after Young, Rich, and Dangerous, I wish that, you know, whatever they were working with Judgment Records in like 2000, I just wish it would have just come out, man, for real, man. I think it would have been just something dope to see the maturity in their music, to see Kris Kross like grown up from being 11, 12 years old. I just think it would have been dope, man.
Definitely. I'd like to talk to Joe the Butcher Nicolo and ask about the record label. Maybe he'd give us some insight on that. That'd be great.
Yeah, shout out to the Butcher. Yeah.
The Butcher.
Yeah.
So talking about the Butcher, we brought up House of Pain earlier. I'm not saying you would know the story inside and out, but Jump Around, one of the biggest songs of all time, ended with Everlast saying, yo, this is going out to Joe the Biter Nicolo. Always took a shot at Butcher.
Oh,
do you have any insight?
That's what he said in a House
yes.
of Pain. Grab the
so every time that song came on.
Yeah.
So something with, I don't know what went into it. I don't know why, because he was the engineer. I'm not sure why he thought he stole it. It's just a story that was never really told throughout hip hop. So you don't know much about that?
No, I did see something. I saw an interview with Everlast, I think it was. And he was talking about how jump around, like some with the songs, it was something was tied in. One song was tied into the other one. So I don't know if the concept was brought to Chris and them first and then House of Pain, because I think Crisscross came out first and then House of Pain was after, right?
Right, but I think they both, but I've also believed Everlast will say it's the other. Everlast, I think, said it the other way around, but
yeah.
So maybe they're in the studio. Somehow he thinks Butcher took it or something, and then
it was
Jump by Crisscross came out.
Yeah, and that was just really crazy. Like I didn't even know there was, you know, a connection there. You know, and again, shout out to House of Pain. You know, that was that was a big song, man.
Incredible group.
Jump Around. That was a big song for them.
By the way, they're not one-hit wonders either. Nothing but love for House of Pain.
Yeah.
Like when they put that on that little MySpace website.
Yeah. And that's another group I wish would have gone a little longer. You know, I know you spoke about Be Real. He's on their first album. You know, everyone I know knows that Cypress Hill and House of Pain were very close, you know what I'm saying? That's like family like that. So, yeah, I just wish, certain groups would have just, you know, just gone along, gave us 1 or 2 more projects, man, because, you know, of that catalog that they gave us already.
Yeah, they had some songs in the mid-'90s, like Hero and On Point. I thought they were great songs, but who knows?
Right.
Who knows what happened after that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk Young Dro. How did you guys become fans? Excuse me.
Oh, this is a funny story here. Okay, Young Dro. So I know I told you in the last interview, all of us went to Bunch Middle School together. Yeah. I know Chris and I, along with the other Chris, attended elementary school. So I met them in 4th grade in '88. Well, I attended Bunch starting in 6th grade. So this like 92, you know what I'm saying? Now, I spoke about my man Leroy. You know, he was the one who called Chris during our Arsenio interview when they did It's a Shame. And he's in the All Right video. Well, Dro and Leroy were already friends. And Leroy and I were friends. But me and Dro weren't necessarily friends. We knew each other, but we weren't necessarily friends. So this to the story. There was a girl, and I won't say her name. Her name will remain anonymous, but we'll just say Samantha for the sake of the story. So Samantha.
Shout out Samantha.
Yeah, shout out to Samantha. Well, Samantha and I, you know, kind of liked each other. You know what I'm saying? Now this 6th grade, you know, I know I'm married now. I know my wife gonna see this. So, yeah, this is when I'm in 6th grade, you know, 12 years old, you know. So anyway, but we kind of liked each other. And matter of fact, I think this was like 7th grade. So she used to go with Dro, you know, before me and her liked each other. She used to go with Dro or whatever. Man, I'm talking about everybody at Bunch started coming up to me. Hey, man, Dewan, you know, Dro real name is Dewan Hart. He said, man, Dewan gonna kick your, you know what, man, Dewan gonna beat you up. Now, keep in mind, Dro lived in Kimberly Court, and he got a lot of siblings. He got brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? And so I knew his older brother, I knew his younger brother, and I didn't want that kind of work. Not to mention the people in our class who stayed in Kimberly Court as well. I mean, these some tough dudes, man. You know.
Sure.
And so, and I said, man, tell Dewan I don't want to fight him, man. No, man, I ain't trying to fight him. He could have Samantha, you know. And so, so this is what happened. So I built up. I skipped the part. So Leroy, I went to Leroy. I said, Leroy, man, tell Dewan I don't want to fight him, man. I don't want to fight him, man. Hey, man, me and Samantha just friends, you know. I don't want to fight him. And so, you know, he tried to go to, you know, to Dro and try to convince, man. Leroy came back, hey, man, he gonna beat you up, man. I said, man, Leroy couldn't be the peacemaker in the whole deal. So we go to the cafeteria. Dro's homeroom teacher, their table was next to ours. Or let me see. No, it was a table in between ours. It was our homeroom, another homeroom, and then his. You know, it was a homeroom in between us. But he and I always sat at the end of our respective cafeteria tables. So I can just get up and just walk over to Dewan if I needed to. That's what I decided to do. Man, I walked up to Dewan. I said, look, Dewan, I ain't trying to fight you, bro. Me and Samantha just friends, man. You can have her, bro. Like, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third, man. And then, man, he looked at me, he said, man, I ain't going to fight you, man. You good, man. You know, that wasn't the exact words, I'm paraphrasing. And we became friends that day. We became friends that day. So that's how it happened with Dro now. That's how we met, you know. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you hook up with T.I.? Do you know?
Dro knew T.I. from Bankhead. I don't know what year him and T.I. met or whatnot, but I know Dro was a local rapper in Atlanta. He rapped with an artist named Raheem the Dream, who's a big Atlanta artist, you know, back in the day. Also, Raheem the Dream, Fabo from D4L. You remember the song Laffy Taffy?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so Dro was signed under him. He used to be with Fabo and Raheem the Dream. And then he ended up being with Rocco. And so what happened was, let me see, Dro had to go in and do some time or whatnot. And so I think the deal was T.I. wanted to sign Dro, but Dro was still signed under Rocco the Don. And so they, whatever paperwork or business, monetary business they had to work out, that's what they did. And then that's how Dro got signed to Grand Hustle. Okay. That's how he got signed to Grand Hustle. But I know when T.I. had first came out with I'm Serious, his first album, I think that was like 01, he would do shows. It was a club on Bankhead. You hear him reference Bankhead, and it was called The Bounce. It was a club, and that's not up no more, but it was a club called The Bounce on Bankhead. And he would do shows there. And I think Dro either was doing shows up there and ended up opening for T.I., or that's how they kind of, you know what I'm saying, reunited. But they knew each other, you know, just from the hood. Sure. Yeah.
Nice. Do you know where the shoulder lean dance and song idea came from? Was that him? Was that T.I.? Shoulder lean, the dance and the song. Whose idea was that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what's crazy about shoulder lean. Dro, the first time I heard Dro, besides the stuff back in the day with Fabo and, you know, Raheem, you know, that stuff was before he got signed. He had his second single, Rubber Band Banks, his second single. I heard that first on a mixtape, you know, and I thought Dro was a part, you know, T.I. used to be called PSC, Pimp Squad Clique. And it was him, Big Country Kane, Matt Boney, AKs, you know. I thought Dro was a part of PSC. I didn't even know he was a solo artist. I thought he got signed on like being a part of the clique, like a Wu-Tang, the Dungeon Family, G-Unit, etc. Cash Money. Man, that shoulder lean, oh man, that thing right there, boy. He knocked that one out the park.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, Dro has never been known as a dancer. And I guess it makes sense. That's why he just leaned the shoulder, you know, he just came out with shoulder lean. But yeah, okay. I don't know where it came from. He just, whoever came up with that one, boy, they knocked that one out the park. Yeah, him and T.I. did that.
I mean, it really is a smart concept. So if Dro's not a good dancer, he could do it. I mean, bald white guys such as myself could dance to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This song, it's kind of like you have Lean With It, Rock With It by the Franchise Boys, you know. But the people can't dance, just lean with it, rock, lean, rock, you know. Yeah.
I can pretend I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, hey.
Nice. There you go.
Hey, definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah, for all ages. For sure.
Are you in contact with Dro much lately?
Yeah, what's funny is I speak to Dro more through Instagram because, man, like Chris, he's still busy, but Dro more doing shows and going in and out of town. He and I, anytime he does come by the house and everything, man, I just tell you, man, he's just a great person, man. He's a great god uncle to my kids. He's been a great brother to me ever since we were 12, 13 years old. And he just, man, I'm just really proud of him, man. I don't know if you know this about Dro. I guess it's no secret, but, Dro almost lost his life when he was 15 years old. He got shot when he was 15. And,
I've heard of that. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? I've heard the
story. Yeah, I don't know the situation around what happened, but yeah, he took a 45 to the abdomen, man. And man, he was in bad shape. During that time, I had kind of lost contact with Dwan because we attended different high schools. I attended Douglas High School and he went to Thero, so we kind of lost contact, but then I would still see him, here and there throughout Southwest Atlanta in the mall, gas station, just here and there. But man, it just showed you, man, how good God is, and God had another plan for him, man. Because he grew up poor, going from project to project, getting evicted, man, a lot of siblings, and man, he had a rough upbringing. So to see, God just blessed him with, the opportunity, and even T.I. recognizing his talent, man. I'm just really proud of Dro, man, for real. I'm really proud of him.
So if you were close to him at the time, he was in bad situations, like he was evicted. I mean, what was his mentality at the time? Was he positive? Was he down on his luck? I mean,
man,
how was he?
The thing about Dro, he has a tremendous sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? And what's so funny that we were talking about Crisscross and speaking about Dro, I just got to tell this quick story. And you spoke about Snoop, right?
Yep.
When we were in middle school, Dro called me one night. And so, I pick up the phone like, hello. And he's like, Corey, who is this? Dwan, what's up, man? He said, man, guess who Chris called on three-way? You're talking about Smith. I said, who? He said, Snoop Doggy Dogg. So I'm like, yeah, right. He called Snoop Doggy Dogg. This is during like when the Chronic's out. I don't know if Doggy Style was out yet. It may have been. Doggy Style may have been out during this time. But anyway, So man, he called it. He said, man, Chris called Snoop on three-way while he was on the phone. And I always wondered if Dro, because I know he's met Snoop throughout his career a couple of times.
Yeah.
Did he ever tell him about that, man? I don't know if Snoop will even remember that. But he said it, man. He said, hey, that man called Snoop Doggy Dogg on three-way. And, being
nice.
A 13-year-old boy, you know what I'm saying, living in the projects, that's a big deal, man,
Heck yeah.
I took Dro, man, my dad took Dro to his first Braves game, man.
Oh,
Dro
wow.
had never been to a Braves game in his life, man. My dad took him, man. Yeah, that was his first time. So we just share like so many dope memories like that, man. It's really beyond music, man. But yeah, he's a great dude.
That's awesome. Shout out to Young Dro.
For sure. And check out his new single, TikTok. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a dope song, man, for sure.
Definitely. So you're also an affiliate of the Goodie Mob. I guess for starters, what does that even mean?
Say it again, Nick.
So you're an affiliate for the Goodie Mob. What does that even mean?
I can't hear you. Hold on, Nick. I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Fine. Okay. Say it again.
So you're listed as an affiliate for the Goodie Mob. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Okay, I can hear you now. And I apologize for that on my end.
It's all good.
Okay, I apologize. With the Goodie Mob, what it is that I'm really just a friend and a supporter. The way I know him, and I know I told the whole story last time I met. I got cool with Goodie Mob because of Cujo Goodie. His grandmother and my dad and I attend the same church. And his grandmother, his late grandmother, I say, rest in peace to Miss Willis. It was in my dad's Sunday school class. So that's how I got kind of introduced to Goodie Mob. It was Cujo first, and then just being with Cujo, sometimes we would go place and T-Mo would be there, and then I got cool with T-Mo. And then just being from Atlanta, everybody know everybody. Like CeeLo's got two cousins who's behind him in the cell therapy video when he's walking up to the gate.
Okay, yeah.
They played baseball with me at Adams Park, when we were, I think, 12, yeah, about 12, 11, 12 years old, Isley and Jonathan. So it was always, I knew somebody who knew them. Like you speak about Gipp, right? Gipp's brother, Pat, shout out to Pat Gipp, his wife and I went to bunch together. She went to bunch with us too, Nicolia Gipp now, but Nicolia went to bunch with us too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I knew somebody who knew them. And so that's how I really got cool with all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah.
So in terms of Goodie Mob, what would your favorite song by Goodie Mob be?
Woo, man. It's
Tough
gonna
one.
have to be, Nick, it's gonna have to be that Goodie Bag.
Okay, nice.
Track 12. Yeah, Goodie Bag is my all-time favorite Goodie Mob song. Of course, you know, Cell Therapy, you know, Soul Food, you know, They Don't Dance No More. That goes without saying, because those were the hits. But man, when I put that Soul Food on, boy, that track 12, that Goodie Bag, man, as soon as that beat dropped, man, I listen to that song every day. That's my favorite
every
song
day.
there, Goodie Bag.
Literally.
But with this new album, they got out Survival Kit, which again is on all platforms. Man, my favorite song is an Off Road. They got a country type swag to it, kind of like what's the song Nas had? Old Town Road. It's kind of like that in a way, but man, in my opinion, maybe I'm just being Goodie biased, if you would. I think it's better than Old Town Road. Off Road is a hit. It's a hit.
Song,
so whenever we finish this interview, definitely check it out, man. The whole album is dope. Outkast on there, Big Rube, Sleepy Brown, DC Young Fly's on there, you know, and it's produced by Organized Noise. And man, that Off Road, man, I told them they got a video. Their next video is coming out For My People, and I was at the video shooting out. I said, man, y'all got to do Off Road, man. I love that song. It's fire. The whole project fire. Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would probably say my favorite Goodie Mob song, I'm going to go with, there's a lot of them, like we said. I'd probably go Black Ice.
Oh, yeah. What's so funny about Black Ice, when you hear the song, before the video came out, a lot of people didn't know there was Gipp in every verse. He just changed his voice.
What?
Yeah, that's Gipp in every verse. Like when you listen to Black Ice, it's different tones in every verse. It sounds like 3 different people.
Gipp. That was Gipp. Okay.
And that's Big Gipp in all 3 verses. Like, he got a high-pitched verse, and then he got a low-pitched verse, and then he do his regular voice in one of the verses. And so, yeah, man. Yeah, nice. Gipp, that's another one, man. Gipp, that one not the part, yeah. And Outkast, man, they represent on there, and that was a dope collaboration.
Very true.
I love Black Ice, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
For sure. Do you know any insight in terms of, obviously CeeLo left the group for a while. He's doing huge things. I mean, he was on The Voice. He had big music out. How did he come back to the group? How did that come about? Was he welcomed with open arms or?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The thing that people don't know, when CeeLo went out and did Gnarls Barkley and, like you said, The Voice and everything that he did, they were still in contact with each other. It was always agreed that, they were going to eventually go off and do solo projects, which they all did, and those you can Google those as well. Like Cujo has, 4 and 5 projects and mixtapes, same with Gipp and Timo, as well as CeeLo with his new album. And that was always the plan, because at the beginning, everyone knew CeeLo was the one in the group who was going to stand out, because back in the day, Biggie wanted to sign CeeLo. Like when Biggie would do his shows, he would do the Get Up, Get Out verse from Outkast album. He would do it live. He would do an acapella. Oh, okay. Yeah, he knew the verse word for word. But
wow, that's awesome.
CeeLo's like, man, I can't come with Bad Boy, man. I'm doing the Goodie Mob thing over here with LaFace, with Outkast and everything. So that was always the plan. And, so what happened was they had a song, Fight to Win. And the NBA picked it up, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? And CeeLo, man, brought Goodie Mob on that track, man. And to me, that was the reunification of Goodie Mob when they did that Fight to Win, and the NBA picking it up and it being the theme song during the playoffs. I think that was maybe 2010, 2011, somewhere in there when they did Fight to Win, maybe 2012. So whenever the playoffs were that year, their song was the featured theme song. I think it was 2012 though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was that. So shout out to CeeLo for that. A lot of people lead a group and you know, kind of, you know, we saw it on the Heartbeats. You know, I know you seen the Heartbeats, the movie when the lead singer said, "I'm leaving the group" after they accepted their award. But CeeLo came back for his brothers, man. And like I said, you know, that it was always a plan to do solo stuff and eventually come back. So that's why they got Survival Kid out now, man, for sure. Celebrating 25 years of Soul Food being released.
Wow, talk about a dilemma. So you can go with Outkast and the Dungeon Family or Biggie and Bad Boy. Oh my gosh. I'm stressed about it, thinking about it.
And then they were both distributed under Arista. See, people don't know Puff Daddy directed Players Ball video.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, Puffy.
Really?
Yeah, Puffy directed that. Yeah. So it was already a relationship there. But like I said, like CeeLo, he wanted to do the Goodie Mob thing. So yeah.
That is really cool.
But I would love to see a Biggie CeeLo collaboration. I wish they would have got to do that before his untimely passing. Rest in peace to Notorious B.I.G.
That would have been dope. Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Corey, it's always a pleasure talking to you. What else? Anything else you want to promote? You want to let everybody know how to follow you?
Yeah, man. Hey, and again, Nick, thank you so much for having me, you know, on your platform again. Shout out to Off the Radar. You know what I'm saying? Big salute. Hey, man, to follow your boy Corey Diligent, man. Instagram at Diligent. That's DILIGENT. SWATS. SWATS. 8 a.m. in the morning. We have our Instagram. I know Nick said in the intro at 8 a.m. That's the number 8 a.m. 2020. And that's the logo on my hat right here. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see. I don't know if I can get it.
Roll to the right. Your left just a little.
My left. There we go. Boom. 8 a.m. So my daughter, I know you know, Nick, my daughter did design. So shout out to Angel.
It's fresh.
And
shout out to Angel.
Anon, the other half, 8 a.m. Anon Negrio. Divine Sons has an Instagram, Divine Sons, and that's Sons with a U, SUNS Music, at Divine Sons Music. And that's Twitter, that's YouTube. Black Box has a YouTube page, youtube.com/BlackBoxDMV. You can check out all our videos and everything. Again, with the projects we got out now, Plex Long, you know, we talked about Plex Long. He dropped 2 projects, man. This man, a workaholic. You got Growth Season on all platforms, and you got 2020 Vision. He dropped 2 projects in 2020. You can check both of those out. And I'm featured on there as well as other Black Box and Divine Sons artists. Also, Hunch Punch Champ. He has Champions Don't Die. That's out on all platforms. He's working on Champion theme music right now. That'll be his next release. But Champions Don't Die is on all platforms. So definitely check out the Hunch Punch Champ. Anon the Griot has 2 projects. He has A Beautiful Headache and he has Alchemy. That's ALCHEMY, Alchemy, on both projects on all platforms, along with 8 a.m., along with myself on all platforms. Dan Johns has Invisible Ink on all platforms, as well as Business is Booming, along with, you know, my man Billy Black, man. We call him Corduroy Billy, man. So they got Business is Booming. They just released it a week or so ago. I'm featured on there, and man, we just out here working, man. We just out here working. We got the merch, webeautifulpeople.com. You can get your hat, get your hoodie, get your shirt, man. Just different things, man. Just definitely check it out, man. My new video timeline is on YouTube now. Corey Diligent timeline. Just type it in, and the album is coming, man. Corey Diligent.
Very good. So, Corey Diligent, thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate you, Nick, already. Shout out to Off the Radar, ATL.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.